Number 15, a quadratic equation can be written in vertex form or in standard form. Sometimes one form is more beneficial than the other. Identify which form would be more beneficial if you need to do each task below and explain why. This is the exact same question on the test. You will only get half credit if you just write the preferred form. You need the explanation there. Everyone's explanations could be a little bit different. It's, more kind of about your preference and how you understand the problem. So just be prepared to be able to answer each of these and include an explanation. So we have standard form, which looks like this. Let's use the pen here. And we're comparing that with vertex form. Both of these are on your formula sheets again, okay? So which is going to be easier if I want to factor? So most of your factoring questions, when it says to factor or solve, it looks something like this. They're typically in standard form. Okay, so it's easier to factor from standard form. And again, you can put whatever, explanation makes sense for you. I find it's easier to factor from standard form because it makes it easier to check your answer afterwards as well. All right, so I factor this. And let me pick an example that you actually can factor. Right? You can redistribute to get what you started with again. So you could say it's easier to factor from standard form because you can check your working after. If you wanted to factor from vertex form, what you'd have to do is simplify it out, distribute the A, and get it to standard form in order to factor. You can't go through the steps this way where you say, okay, what times what is the first coefficient, what times what is the last term, and then which one of those add up to get the middle. So factoring, standard form. Graphing, I feel like it's easier from vertex form because A, if it's positive or negative, you'll know right away if it's opening up and down. You can graph the vertex. The vertex form shows you the vertex right away, so you'll know your axis of symmetry and your vertex. And then all you have to do to complete the graph is pick any number for x, plug that in, you'll get y, and then we know it's symmetrical, so you can fill out the graph that way. So for standard, we're matching that with factoring. For vertex, we're matching that with graphing. Identify the vertex minimum or maximum. Well, the vertex form is going to be easiest to point out the vertex. It shows it to you right there in the problem. H and K are your vertex. So we'll put that for C. And A will also tell you if it's a minimum or maximum. If A is positive, your parabola opens up, so you're going to have your vertex at a minimum. And if A is negative, it's going to open down, so you know your vertex is going to be at a maximum. So that's helpful as well. Solve the equation using quadratic formula. That's going to be standard form because standard form gives you A, B, and C just by looking at it. And that's the information you need to substitute into the quadratic formula. Okay? So factoring and using the quadratic formula are preferred and from standard form. Graphing and identifying the vertex minimum or maximum are preferred with vertex form. You need to also include explanations. Heads up on that one, giving you a fair warning.